tennis isn't just a game of skill and endurance. It's also a game of fortunes. Every ace, every rally, every victory on the world's biggest stages comes with a price tag attached. And nowhere is that price tag higher than at the US Open. The courts of New York don't just crown champions, they mint millionaires. Today, we're counting down the top 10 players in the ATP rankings, not only looking at their game, but at their wallets. From hungry newcomers turning prize checks into career investments, to seasoned legends stacking fortunes on top of dynasties. This is tennis at the intersection of sport and wealth. Stick around, because the closer we get to number one, the bigger the stakes. And the bigger the paychecks. At number 10, we begin with Karen Khachanov. The tall Russian powerhouse is ranked 10th in the world. In New York, his run at the US Open was another reminder of his steady presence in the upper tiers of the game. A quarterfinal finish would have handed him $660,000, a serious payday for a week's work. Khachanov isn't the type to flaunt wealth. Much of his earnings go back into training, supporting his team, and investing for long-term stability. Coming from a background without the commercial mega deals of tennis superstars, he has to be smart. Every big check is another step toward financial security for his family and future. Sliding into number 9, we meet Lorenzo Musetti. The Italian stylist, known for his one-handed backhand, reached the quarterfinals in New York and cashed in the same $660,000. Musetti is still young, with prize money and sponsorships just beginning to swell. For him, the money isn't just about luxury. It's about reinvesting into his career. Coaches, physios, and a traveling support team that keep him competitive across continents. But let's not lie. With his love for fashion and Italian flair, you can bet a slice of that check will go toward high-end clothes and lifestyle indulgences. At number 8, it's Alex de Minaur. Australia's demon is known for his speed and grit. A quarterfinal showing at the US Open earned him another $660,000. De Minaur is one of the most consistent performers on tour. He doesn't always take the headlines, but he always takes the checks. Financially, Alex has been careful. He's invested in property, and much of his winnings go toward building a long-term safety net. With his partner, fellow tennis pro Katie Boulter, he also has one eye on a comfortable life after tennis. That quarterfinal check? It's more fuel for a balanced lifestyle. Work now, freedom later. Ranked number 7, the rising Brit Jack Draper. Draper's surge into the top 10 shows the future of British tennis is secure. While his US Open run in 2025 didn't quite hit the final stages, even a round of 16 appearance would mean $400,000 in prize money. Draper, still early in his journey, is channeling most of his earnings back into his career. With new sponsorships beginning to land, his spending is likely modest. Fitness, travel, building the right team around him. But as a young face of the sport in the UK, you know he's also setting aside some of that prize money for enjoying life. Maybe a new car or investments in real estate back home. At number 6, we have Ben Shelton, one of the loudest names to burst onto the tour in recent years. Shelton is all about energy, charisma, and big serves. His US Open campaign didn't bring him into the Final Four, but his prize earnings still ran into hundreds of thousands. Shelton has been vocal about wanting to enjoy the ride. So while a good portion of his checks go toward funding his team and career development, He's also the kind of player to spend on experiences, travel, fashion, maybe even some flashy tech. He's building his brand as much as his bank account, and every tournament paycheck pushes him further into the spotlight. Now, at number 5, it's Taylor Fritz. America's top ranked player had another strong run, hitting the quarterfinals for a payout of $660,000. Fritz has already passed the 20 million mark in career prize earnings, and he's done it with a balance of consistency and style. Financially, Fritz is well off. He owns property, he enjoys luxury, and he's been seen with high profile brands. His US Open money likely gets split, some into long term investments, some into lifestyle, and plenty back into maintaining one of the strongest tennis support teams in the world. For Fritz, prize money isn't survival, it's leverage for staying competitive and living well. At number 4, the icon Novak Djokovic. Even in his late 30s, he's still fighting deep into the biggest tournaments. A semifinal run in New York this year earned him $1,260,000. Djokovic doesn't need the money. His career earnings are already record shattering, and his endorsements, businesses, and foundation mean his fortune is vast. But Novak isn't careless. He invests heavily in wellness ventures, real estate, and philanthropy through his foundation. Every tournament prize he wins now is less about personal wealth and more about fueling causes he believes in and securing a legacy off the court. Holding strong at number 3, Alexander Zverev. The tall German has been a fixture in the top ranks for nearly a decade. His US Open earnings this year depended on his round exit, but even a round of 16 brought in $400,000. Financially, Zverev is comfortable. Prize money in the tens of millions, plus endorsements from brands across Europe. Zverev is known to enjoy life's finer things, luxury cars, designer fashion, but he's also matured in recent years, putting more of his money into investments and charitable projects. For him, it's about balancing the rewards of success now with smart planning for later. At number 2, we have Jannik Sinner, the Italian who's become a global star. Sinner reached the final in New York and earned a staggering $2,500,000. With nearly $50 million in career prize money already, plus sponsorships from Nike, Head, Rolex, and more, Sinner is financially set for life. He's a quieter personality compared to some of his peers, often reinvesting his money rather than splurging. That US Open runner-up paycheck? It likely goes into long-term investments, his Monaco residence, and further building his global brand. But don't be surprised if he treats himself to a high-end sports car. Italians love their speed. And finally, at number 1, Carlos Alcaraz. The 22-year-old Spaniard conquered the 2025 US Open, walking away with the champion's prize of $5 million. His career prize money now sits over $53 million, and his endorsement portfolio, Nike, Babolat, Rolex, BMW, pushes his net worth to around $40 million. Alcaraz is still early in his career, but he's already thinking long-term. A large portion of his US Open winnings will be swallowed by taxes, leaving him with around $3 million to actually spend. And spend wisely he will. Investments in real estate, financial planning for the future, support for his family, and of course, a little luxury for himself. A young king of the sport, building not just a legacy on court, but a financial empire off it. And there you have it. From Khachanov's steady grind at number 10, all the way to Carlos Alcaraz's $5 million triumph at number 1, The 2025 US Open wasn't just about forehands and backhands. It was about futures being built, fortunes being secured, and legacies being written. Some will spend on luxury, others will invest in stability. But every dollar tells a story. In tennis, money follows talent. And as these top 10 players have shown, the bigger the stage, the bigger the rewards. The game is global, the stakes are higher than ever, and the next chapter, it's just beginning. Because in tennis, glory fade, but prize money lasts forever.